Hello fellow space engineers, this is Marcelo from ACFM Gaming, and I figured it's about time we start talking about ground vehicles. So for this subject, I chose to start a short series on different types of ground vehicles and their configurations, based on the experiences that we have been gathering, and what better place to begin with than Mars. Now, for this particular example, I decided to do a showcase of an amazing vehicle, and this is the Cougar by Breeze. Now, this was published, if I'm not mistaken, 2015 in September, and I have subscribed to it a while back, but never actually tried it. And I was checking out all of the blueprints that I had, and this caught my attention again. Now, let's begin into a breakdown of its characteristics. The first thing that comes to mind when you see this vehicle is, wow, this thing is huge. And if you compare it to my LAV design, which is roughly kind of like a real life dimension, you're gonna see that this is closer to the vehicles that you see in the strategy game Deserts of Karak, and especially the LAV, the Coalition LAV, which is kind of like a monster truck version of a Doom buggy.
Light attack vehicle in service.
Now, there's a reason for that. Currently, in Space Engineers, the 3x3 wheels, which are the ones that you would consider the real life size for military vehicles, are really buggy. And something that might seem counterintuitive, but the 1x1 wheels actually work better for them. And if you place them in a row, you can actually kind of simulate a tank track in the way that they hug the terrain, and they are better for traversing those bumps. Now, at the same time, these don't have enough ground clearance, and that leads to bounciness and also the transmission being damaged through the suspension. While the 5x5s are actually the size of a large grid 1x1, and they tend to work really well. You can actually give them, set them to have not so extreme offset, and you will still get enough ground clearance. But what is genius about this design is not the features. I mean, it has the door, the car jack that we are all familiar with, which are also highly recommended by many other creators. It even has, I mean, if you see it there, let me quickly show you so you get an overview. This anchoring mechanism there and there, so the vehicle won't move, because at this point in the game the handbrake is kind of finicky, so sometimes your vehicle keeps moving at a really slow speed. So, as I was saying, this vehicle comes equipped with anything. It uses M-Master's automatic LCDs with cameras, so you can access it from the two operator stations, and it also has some passenger space, and the passengers actually have access to some data. And you can actually, get to the cargo from here. So you want to put your rifles, your supplies there. So this is the real deal. It's something that you would see in many other works of science fiction, and what this reminds me of is the rovers in the Mars trilogy by Kim Stanley Robinson, especially the ones that are called boulder cars, which are basically stealth rovers that are oversized and can house several people at a time. But let me show you the most important thing, and the thing that you're gonna find really useful, and is how to configure the wheels. And this is something that my friends have actually helped me a lot with, and I haven't touched this at all. The only thing that I changed is the speed limit. I set it to 80 because it was set to unlimited, and that's just too much. But the way Breeze, the author, has configured this is as follows: 60% power for the front wheels compared to 100% power of the rear wheel, so it's gonna be pushing forward rather than pulling. At the same time, something that you wanna do is you wanna have the friction on the front wheels be higher than the friction on the rear wheels, so the vehicle doesn't fight you when you're turning. At the same time, the turning angles, as you see there, they need to be higher on the front wheels than on the rear wheels. You also want to use, as you can see in the display over there, gyroscopes. He uses 6. I use 6 in my vehicles too. Though he's successful, I am not. Those two over there flip quite a lot. But also the usage of spaceballs, which are showing here, because as you know, if you own a spaceball, it's impossible to set it to not show on HUD. The way he placed them, he has 4 around the center of mass of the vehicle, and then he has 2 sets of 2s along the place that, let's say, the transmission, would be in a real life vehicle, right between the 4 suspensions. This makes this LAV really stable. As a side note, I like how he made those signal lights using the conveyor sorters. I think that's clever. And overall, the vehicle is packed with features. You have your screen there, your camera rear view mirrors, but most importantly, you have a vehicle that is small grid and doesn't like to flip all the time. You can always get a little bit of air and do minor corrections with the mouse. Well, so there you have it. This is the Cougar by Breeze, for a design that is relatively, let's say, not new, because it's not an old design. It's really impressive, and I hope you guys check it out. I hope you guys subscribe to it, and check out his other designs and support his workshop page.